A month shy of 21 years ago, to the day, Trainspotting 1 was released, and it changed British cinema. Infectious with its hypermanic, proto-cool, Britannic charge, it's now actually impossible to figure out whether it was a product of its time or whether the time became a product of it. With a movie that good, how do you follow it up? How do you make the sequel relevant? How do you even make the sequel comparable? You can if you're Danny Boyle. T2 Trainspotting. We finally have a good sequel that's nearly as good as the original. Back in 1996, in a monologue, nearly every single British teenager could recite from start to finish. Trainspotting's gallery of raucous junkies asked us the question and begged us, choose life. Fast forward 21 years, they're in this blind side of thinking that they didn't choose life. As an audience, we realise, now guys, life didn't choose you. It picks up with Mark Renton's character returning to Scotland. Mark Renton's back in town. I just want to throw out one thing. For anyone who isn't of British ascendancy, maybe watch this film with subtitles, because it's a wee bit hard to understand. I mean, this is not even for me, this was not always easy at the best of times to follow. But the story is, Mark Renton is back in town. He's back in Scotland. And if you've seen Trainspotting 1, you know he's done a dirty deed on his friends, and it's time for some sweet TLC and makeup, if they accept it. But since we've last seen them 21 years ago, their life has been mixed at best. Mark Renton claims to have gone and started a new life in Amsterdam, been part of a small business. Sick Boy, and this is based off of the porno novel by Welsh, is running a sort of pornographic scam to blackmail high-profile individuals in Scotland. Begbie, played by the iconic Robert Carlyle, is serving 20 years in prison for murder, and Spud, played by Ewan Bremer, is basically, we find out, been able to kick his heroin habit, try and start up a new life, only for it all to collapse and get back on the skag. Life is a mixed bag for these boys. As I said, life has not chosen them. They are perennial fucking losers. And where you need to give this film credit is that whenever you've got an ensemble cast, especially with one standout actor like Ewan McGregor, some would argue Robert Carlyle's up there with him, but let's be honest, the star power in this movie is Ewan McGregor. Where you have to give Danny Boyle mega props in this is that every single one of these four characters is given equal screen time. You feel an equal amount of connection or distance from them as appropriate. It's just a perfectly well-balanced, masterfully told film in that fucking brilliant, smack you in the face camera work that only Danny Boyle can direct. It's really edgy, this movie. It doesn't have any moments, this isn't a spoiler, but there is no moments like in the first one. There's no baby moment like in the first one, but it has got some moments which literally have you going, oh, don't do that. It's a lot more about their relationship this time and the aftermath of Mark Renton's actions from the first one. And that's actually the only discredit I can find with this movie. This movie, while you could get enjoyment from it because of the brilliant relationship and chemistry between all characters, is valid to stand alone by itself. In terms of the story, the one downside to this movie is that it's completely reliant on the first one. The movie, though, is a brilliant portrayal and sideswipe at nostalgia. It's a brilliant revenge story told on a very, very small, relatable level, and it's a brilliant character piece above everything. Like the original, T2 is happy spending time with the characters no matter what they get up to. What's incredible about the movie is that very little that happens seems to actually affect what's going on. It's like a drug trip. It's a never-ending one piece to another. It's continuous. You're moving from one place to another, and it's all jarring, but it all comes together so damn well. But it knows what it is. It knows that it's a follow-up to one of the most iconic British films of all time, and it embraces that. And there's a lot of callbacks to the first movie and a lot of flashbacks, but they're not just there to tickle on your nostalgia and make you feel old again. You're really meant to feel there where the characters are. What have I done for the last 20 years? It's also littered with callbacks to the original movie. Some as stirring as they are subtle, and some just incredibly cute. If you've seen the first one, you're gonna love this, and if you haven't, you're pretty much gonna love this too. One particular moment that I love, which you would have seen in the trailer, when they all take the train and go back to Korea and that lock where one of their friends died. Renton claims, "We're here as an act of memorial service," to which Sick Boy retorts, "Nostalgia, that's why you're here. You're a tourist in your own youth." Very meta, and that's both meant to Renton and to the audience. And that's where this movie just succeeds so well amongst all the films that are so reliant on nostalgia in this day and age, and that use that as their one key trick. This movie just builds on that. It fucking takes a sideswipe at that, but it embraces that all at the same time. And I just want to say, remember the Choose Life monologue from the first movie? Bloody Mark Renton has another Choose Life monologue adapted from that, made relevant to the 21st century, bringing everything in from nostalgia to social media, to our relevance or lack thereof, to politics, to government choices, to our choices. It left the whole theatre jaw dropped, and a raucous round of applause followed. It's one of the best monologues I have ever heard in a movie, and it hits home, and it is absolutely relevant to us as 21st century human beings. The bottom line is that this movie has no chance of matching the legacy that the first one set, but it ain't gonna tarnish it either. Guys, in conclusion, I'm giving T2 Trainspotting an 8.5 out of 10. The movie is shot brilliantly, it makes you uncomfortable, it makes you laugh, you can relate to the characters, you can love the characters, you can hate the characters, you can feel sympathy for the characters, you can understand what the characters, you can feel every single emotion that one can feel for another human being, you will feel throughout this movie. And to that end, it is an utter fucking success. And it's a sequel, and with any sequel, we have to ask the question, why go back? Least of all, 21 years since the original was released. And that is a question any worthwhile sequel has to answer, and this movie does so in masterful form. The answer Danny Boyle offers is the same one any of us might offer. Before a protracted session of nostalgic navel gazing, first, work out who we are, and second, to answer why we aren't where we'd expect to be. Isn't that a question we're all asking? Trainspotting 2 is a fucking masterpiece. Go see it now. So over to you guys, what did you think of T2 Trainspotting? Have you seen it? Did you like it? Leave your thoughts in your comments below, and I'd also like to know what your favourite British film of all time is. Please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, family and any movie fans you may know and love, and hit that subscribe button for me guys, and keep tuning in every single weekend to the Silver Screen Dudes for more movie reviews. And until next time, see ya!